a dog just like shrieked a little bit down the road, and whenever that kind of a thing happens, I automatically assume zombies. So if I die in the course of this video, I'm very sorry. Hello humans, my name is Dale Kingsmill, and this week it is once again time for another storytelling video. This week, I'm actually going to be doing another Faerie Dael, so how about that? Today I will be telling you the slightly less well-known, but still classic Grimm Brothers story of the boots of buffalo leather. Once upon a time, there was a soldier who was absolutely fearless. There was not a single thing in this world that he was afraid of, which certainly made him an invaluable asset on the battlefield. But when the war had finished and the soldier had been discharged, he was completely unable to find a job because his resume really sucked. I mean, what's a born and bred soldier to do when he's deprived of his ability to soldier? He'd never learned a trade, he couldn't work for money if there wasn't a war on, and so he was left with nothing except, of course, for his tried and true standard issue army pair of riding boots made from buffalo leather. But his boots could hardly help him with his resume problems, and so the soldier was left to beg for money on the streets in order to try and feed himself. It was a pretty sorry situation, let me tell you. So one day, the soldier wandered out into the middle of a forest for no discernible reason. I have zero idea why he would do that, but that's what he did. And he got himself incredibly lost. But of course, as I have previously stated, the soldier was fearless, and so in his unworried meanderings about the forest, he came across a man sitting on a felled tree and wearing a rather fashionable looking green hunting shooting coat cape thing. The soldier decided that this was as good a place to rest as any, and the company might even make a welcome addition, so he went over, shook the man's hand, introduced himself, and sat down on the grass next to him. While the two were chatting, the soldier noticed that the hunter was wearing two black boots that were polished to such a shine that you could see your own face in them. Them some shiny shoes. To be perfectly honest, the soldier was a little bit impressed, but not impressed enough to stop him from bragging about how his own boots were definitely infinitely better. He stretched out his legs in front of him and said, "See these? Them's genuine buffalo leather riding boots. Nothing better. Yours are nice, but if you ever have to travel as far as I've had to travel, they wouldn't last you long. Yep, they'd fall apart right quick. Not like mine. Not like mine." This is a man who's very, very proud of his boots. So after the soldier had had sufficient rest, he stood up and said, "This has been real nice, but I'm technically homeless and unemployable, and I haven't eaten in a full week. So if you could just point me in the direction of the nearest food source, Brother Bright Boots, I'll be on my way." Sorry, I'm hopelessly lost right now, actually. I was too scared to keep walking around the forest, so I've just been sitting here for 2 days, you know, just hoping someone would come along. I didn't want to bring it up before because I didn't want to interrupt your speech about how much you love your shoes. Well, in that case, we're birds of a feather, you and me. And the soldier grabbed the hunter up off the log and plunked him down on his feet and started off into the forest immediately. "Don't worry, I'll take care of you. I am literally incapable of feeling the sensation of fear." The hunter smiled and the two walked off together. Eventually night fell and the two were still very lost. But then in the darkness they could see a small light flickering way up ahead. That probably means food, yeah? Let's go follow it, because that can never go badly. Arriving closer to the spot where the light was originating, the soldier and the hunter could see that it was coming from the window of a small stone cottage. Having knocked on the door, an old woman came and answered it. "Hello," said the soldier. "I'm really hungry. Like, actually starving. And so it would be really great if you could give us a place to stay for the night and probably some food before I pass out. That'd be ace." The old woman said, "I would help, but You can't stay here. This house actually belongs to a band of robbers. Mean, cutthroat types, and they'll be coming home any minute. Pish posh, exclaimed the soldier. I'm about to drop dead of hunger in the forest anyway, so what do I care if I get murdered? And bustled his way in past her through the door. And then he reached back through the doorway and grabbed the hunter, who had been turning to walk away, by the scruff of his coat and pulled him in, saying, "Come on, shiny shoes. It'll be a fun adventure." Yeah, fun adventure, said the hunter, unconvinced. I'd really rather not be murdered tonight, actually, thank you. The old woman tells them, all right, fine, just hide behind the stove, and after they've eaten, I'll sneak you any of the leftovers while they're asleep, okay? Just shh. As soon as the two lost men had sat themselves down in the corner behind the stove, 12 huge, hideous, brigand ruffian people smashed their way in through the door, busting up the place and demanding their food. The old woman brought out the dinner of roast meat that she'd prepared for them, and as soon as the soldier smelled it, he couldn't take it anymore. Dude, I can't handle this. I'm going in. I'm gonna go eat with them. Okay? I'm gonna go eat with them. No, don't you even think about it. Don't you even dare. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Where's your gun? Give me your gun. What? You were out here hunting, yeah? So where's your gun? I don't have it. What? You were a soldier. Where's yours? I'm retired. They didn't exactly let me keep it. Look, I got freaked out and threw it at an otter in fright, okay? It's a long story and I don't want to get into that right now. But fine. I'll deal with this without a gun then. But I'm getting me some food. Damn it. No, don't you do that. And before the soldier could get up and reveal their intrusion into the robber's house, the hunter grabbed him by the elbow and held him back, and the two started scuffling behind the stove. But of course, when two grown men scuffle behind a stove, a group of 12 robbers is bound to hear it. The robbers all threw their knives and forks away for some reason and leapt up to find the two lost men in their hiding place. Aha! Gentlemen, are you in the corner? Well, it's time to beat you up as we robber types are wont to do. Oh, shut up! I'm so hungry, said the soldier. Look, just give me some food and then after you can do whatever the hell you want. The roughhouses were visibly shocked. I see you have no fear, said the leader. This is unexpected. Very well. You may have some food, but then after, you must die. Yeah. Horrible death. Whatever. Give me the food. The soldier sat himself down at the table and got himself a full plate of roast meat. Oi, Sparklefeet, come and get in on this. It's delicious. But no matter how much the soldier coaxed, the hunter still cowered in the corner. After eating for a while, the soldier demanded a beverage, and so a glass of the finest wine was brought to him, because apparently these robbers have a hospitality code. Taking his glass of wine and looking over at the hunter still sitting in the corner, the soldier winked and said in a hushed tone, "Just watch this, Brother Brightboots. You're about to witness something that'll have you shocked and amazed for years to come." Swirly, swirly. The soldier stood up and offered a toast to the robber gang's health. Long life to you all. But with your mouths open and your right hands lifted up. And then he drank. And suddenly, as he was doing this, the robbers froze with their mouths agape and their right hands held high above their heads. Unexplained and unforeshadowed reality-altering magic powers. How's that for Deus Ex Machina? Alright, the hunter quivered. Now let's get out of here. Calm down, the soldier said, grabbing him as he ran past and pulling him to sit down at the table. It's perfectly safe with them frozen like this. Only I can release them. Come on, sit down, have some food, have some wine. Take in the ambiance. So the two had a lovely evening of wining and dining. When they'd eaten their fill, the old lady was kind enough to point them in the correct direction to get them out of the forest and back to the nearest town. The soldier went directly to find his old army buds and got them to come with him back to the robber's cabin. The hunter was about to slip off into town when the soldier said, "Aw, thought you were gonna come and watch us arrest them." "It's gonna be hella funny. It always is when I unfreeze people," he said, grinning. And so the hunter conceded. The platoon of soldiers surrounded the robber-shaped statues while Buffalo Boots picked up another glass of wine. First he took a gulp from it, then he raised it up and cried, live again. The robbers came back to life and had just enough time to freak out before they were all tackled by the soldiers. Take them to prison, boys, the soldier with buffalo boots said. And just before they did, the hunter took one of the men aside and whispered some of his own instructions. All right, Brother Bright Boots, we're done here. Care to stroll with me back to town? And the two of them took the scenic route, arriving quite a while later than the soldiers had. When they did arrive, a huge crowd of people swarmed out of the city gates. They were all cheering and waving flags and rushing out to greet them along with the city guard. The ruler of this kingdom went missing a while back and was feared lost forever. But now, at long last, he's finally sent a message saying that he's going to be returning today and that there's to be a huge celebration. What? I don't see any kings around. They're celebrating a bit prematurely, don't you think? Why, the king is right here. What? Well, perhaps he's right before your very eyes. What are you even talking about? Okay, clearly I'm being too subtle. I am the king. Me, I'm the king. King is me. And the hunter removed his green shooting coat for the first time since the two had met to reveal his fancy, clearly royal garments. And the soldier flipped out. He fell to his knees and apologized profusely for not realizing that this man was clearly nobility, for arguing with him all the time, for punching him in the nose while they were fighting behind the stove. I mean, he'd even nicknamed him Brother Bright Boots and everything. This was so embarrassing. The king just laughed and shook the soldier's hand, thanking him for saving his life and for being such a brave soldier person who apparently knows magic. And as for that whole thing where you don't have a job and can't feed yourself, said the king, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. The royal kitchens can easily whip up a meal just as good, if not better, than the one the old woman made for the robbers. You can have some anytime you want. Although, he added in a hushed tone, if you're thinking of toasting to someone's health, please do run it by me first. And the two lived happily ever after. Why was the story named after the boots of buffalo leather, when they are arguably the least significant part of the story? I have genuinely no idea. I like to think of this story as a manic pixie dream girl romance with the soldier as the manic pixie dream guy. Think about it. It works. So I hope you liked the story for this week. That was another Faerie Dael. If you did like it, it would make me very happy if you could go and click the like button just underneath the video. Or, better yet, if you could go and share it on your favorite social media website. Doesn't matter which one. Twitter, Facebook, take your pick. Any of them. Ooh yeah. That was awkward. If you enjoyed this video but are not subscribed yet, I do more like it every 2 weeks. I tell stories in video format every 2 weeks. It's what I do. Don't forget to email this to your grandma, and for now, that's it. I'm done, and I will see you guys some other time. Silly sissy donkey head, where is the king?